Hamburg, January, nice weather, rear event, so time to fly. With that being said, welcome to this video and let's jump right into the plans for today's flight. So to the northwest the fog doesn't really disappear, so I decided to make an easy navigation flight which would take us along the Elbe into northerly direction to Schenefeld. This is where the fog starts, so we need to turn there to the right towards Neumünster, following the Bundesstraße 430. In Neumünster we will pick up the highway A7 and follow it to the south directly into Hamburg via November 1 and November 2. From there to the harbour along the Elbe to Whiskey 1 and then back to the airfield in Uetersen. Basically easy, but due to the high humidity today we expect not the best visibility. This is the plan, so let's get to the airfield. Actually there is nothing really special to this flight. There's no different airport, just a local flight around Hamburg again. But Monika came up with an idea. Let's strap a camera to my head and see how it looks like. I thought, basically great idea, so now it's time that you can actually see a flight like I do it through my own eyes. Just like 10 centimeters higher. Anyway, before the flight I need to check if everything is alright. This includes fuel and oil check as well as a walk around the plane. Here check all parts of the plane on damages or other abnormalities, but it would be way too long to show the whole process now in this video. But if you would like me to make a video on checking the aircraft, just let me know in the comments. Today everything looks normal, so lastly I need to get all my stuff inside the plane and then let's take it out of the hangar. The Cessna back in, doors closed, time to finally get into the plane. Very important, take a picture on how stupid I look for the thumbnail. I was happy that we were actually alone that day on the airfield.
Fuel pump on. We got fuel pressure is rising. Fuel pump off. Strobe on. Mixture rich. Let's prime it 3 times. A little throttle and ignition. Everything clear. Alright. Engine runs. All instruments green.
We had about 1 to 2 hours of fuel remaining, but due to the foggy conditions that day in the north, we decided to fill up the tanks in case of a diversion, so we first taxied to the fuel station. Before I can start refueling, I need to contact the grounding cable to the aircraft to avoid electric discharges over the fuel, what could lead to a fire. And when this is done, I activate the petrol station with the transponder. And if you wonder about the mess of all these hoses laying around there, these hose reels were already broken when I started flying about 12 years ago. So yeah, I fill up the tanks to 144 liters because there is a marker for this fuel level and better to have a bit more than a bit less, and we were light anyway. Refueling is done, back into the plane.
So, master on, fuel pump on, pressure is there, strobe on, primer lock, mixture rich, a little power, and all clear. And there's the engine. Engine instruments in green. Here's our radio transponder standby. Turn on USB for the Stratux. Alright, we are in easterly direction, 095.
The runway in use is the 27, but there are still some checks I need to do before departure.
So let's already go through the checklist before departure. 1800 RPM, left 100, right like 75. Carburetor heat, it works. Let's put it back to idle. Run stable with carburetor heat off. Rotations are rising a bit. Trim on takeoff. Flaps, check. Put it back to neutral. So, flap 0, switch the fuel tank. Fuel pressure stable. Alright, so primer locked, mixture rich, and carburetor heat off. Fuel pump on. Steerings clear and free. Instruments green, fuses in, transponder on alt. Okay, let's taxi already into position. So in case of an engine failure on takeoff, we're just already airborne and like half of the runway we can still land straight. Up to like 700-800 feet we can maximally turn right, left around 30 degrees and land on just what is in front of us. From around 1000 feet we can make a teardrop back, land even northern direction onto the airfield because it's big enough to land in all directions.
Oscar Tango rollt auf die 27 und startet.
Alright, we're aligned, 27 is identified, and let's give full power. Instruments are normal, the green, airspeed is alive, 50, 55, bring up the nose wheel, and here we go. Let's accelerate to VY, 90 miles per hour, here we are. And get up.
Before taking course to the north, we need to exit the traffic pattern via the exit route in the AIP to avoid a village.
Now we slowly get above the inversion. So let's change to lung information.
Yep.
So we stay at 2200 for now to stay below the Hamburg airspace. Yeah, for now it's not really spectacular here. It's very hazy, it's humid air. We're above the inversion and there's just marshland below us. So fields and few villages, nothing more. So it's not really so exciting here. So we said, okay, let's do something completely different and mount the camera onto my head. I could say it was more comfortable to fly without a camera on my head. But let's see how it will turn out to be. I'm curious how it looks like. And if you find it interesting to see what I'm doing with my hands and see it from my perspective here, if you want to see something like this more often, then just write it in the comments. I'm not mad if you say no, we don't want, because
it's a test.
It's a test, and I would be happy not to have a camera on my head in every flight.
We left the inner Charlie ring of Hamburg now and can climb up to maximally 3,500 feet. Slowly the fog starts to become visible in the north, so we decide to stick to our plan and turn right when we reach our waypoint Schenefeld. Actually, it's not that easy to see the ground marks in front of us due to the hazy air, but I've been flying this route multiple times, so I know very well where we are.
There is the street, the road, and parallel to that a railway going directly into Neumünster. And when you're already almost in Neumünster, you absolutely cannot miss the highway. It's easy to see. And from there you just turn south and follow the highway to Hamburg. And this is just very easy to navigate here. Even with poor visibility, so I can clearly see the road below me. This is going into Hohenweststedt, and Hohenweststedt is like a cross for all these roads, and we're actually on an IFR flight. I follow roads or railway, both works at this moment, so you can see the highway.
Already way before Neumünster we could spot the highway R7, which we plan to follow south into Hamburg.
So let's descend below 2,500. And just follow the highway.
Since we're now flying towards Hamburg, we need to descend again below 2,500 feet to avoid the Charlie airspace of Hamburg, which starts at 2,500 feet. We're now 10 miles north of reporting point November 1, so I call Hamburg Tower for clearance to enter the control zone.
Delta, Oscar Tango, Grumman Alpha, Alpha 5, 2 POV, VFR from Uetersen to Uetersen, 5 minutes north, November 1, altitude 2,200 feet. Request to enter control zone and cross via November 2, 02 and Whiskey 1. Squawk 7007, QNH 1026, Delta Oscar Tango. Will report November 1, Delta Oscar Tango.
After November 1 we were cleared to continue to November 2 and not to overfly the airport of Hamburg. We got a heading of 150 degrees, and when we passed the airport we could turn right towards the city and 02, which is situated above the Kühlbrand Bridge in the harbor of Hamburg.
Heading 150, maintain VMC, Delta Oscar Tango.
So on the right side now, Hamburg Airport. We are just parallel to a landing airliner. Think he's somewhere behind.
Proceed Sierra 2, Delta Oscar Tango.
So now we are inbound Sierra 2, Hamburg. And again, flying over the city. Like also in the last video. Again, I will put it here if you want to watch it. Now we are just above the city here. Beautiful as always. And there is an airliner just on parallel to us taking off.
We had the idea for a low approach at Airbus Finkenwerder, but due to the traffic, we would have had to wait another 15 minutes. So we decided to fly to Whiskey 1 and then back to Uetersen.
Just down there, there's the Airbus Beluga XL landing on Finkenwerder. We just passed behind it. You can see it also here on the navigation display. Now it's above the Elbe. Wow. Yeah, I already feel this camera on my neck. It's getting uncomfortable.
Delta Oscar Tango, position Whiskey 1, altitude 2200, request to leave. Fox 7000, approved to leave, vielen Dank, tschüss und schönen Abend.
Let's put Uetersen 122705. This will be on the movie, you know.
Let's go! Let's go!
At the end it wasn't quite uneventful flight, not that interesting actually. The only thing what was new it was the perspective of the camera, so this was something what we wanted to try out. My opinion is that it looks kinda cool to see the cockpit from this view, from this angle, and to see exactly what I'm doing, but this is just my opinion, so let me know what you think, if you find it interesting or maybe super boring, what can also be. And yeah, that was it basically. We are now on the approach to Uetersen, to the runway 27 again. If you like our content, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and I hope to see you again in the next video. And now, enjoy the landing.
Delta Oscar Tango fliegt jetzt von Westen ein in den Gegenanflug zu 7.
So there is our traffic pattern altitude. So let's take out the energy and turn it to base.
Delta Oscar Tango dreht ein, Fernflug zu 7.
Okay, that's our base. Let's put already some flaps.
Delta Oscar Tango, Endanflug zu 7.
We're a bit too far to the right. Let's put full flaps.
Okay, doesn't look good.
That looks good. Just wait for it. Long landing is not bad at this time, because we anyway need to taxi there, so...
Yeah. I think there is someone behind, so...
Yeah. And turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off.